Hey guys, it's Mist. And yeah, this is my tunnel bore docking station for 6 tunnel bores. And I'll give you the rundown of how it works. So, this is the docking section. Basically, it's basically just one component, really. It's just AND gates. So, the first thing we need to talk about is how these tunnel bores launch. So first we have the top section of tunnel bores launch, and then the bottom section, because if the top and bottom tunnel bores went at the same time, gravel could get stuck on the bottom machine right here and stop it. So you need to launch these at separate times. And basically how I do that is just the AND gate. So when the 3 tunnel bores on the top leave out there, the AND gate basically goes all false, which makes this monostable circuit go up. And then when the tunnel bores arrive back, it causes the AND gate to turn to true, which allows this monostable circuit to now work on the rising edge of that torch and allow the bottom tunnel bores to go. Tunnel bottom goes out, comes back, and then when the bottom comes back, it causes this monostable to activate as well, which then causes the block collector to push all the blocks into that section. Now, there's more to it than just the AND gates, necessarily. So we've got an on and off switch, which actually attributes to the big AND gate, which allows this monostable to go. So there's actually 3 AND gate sections for this. But rather there's those 2 for the tunnel bore, 1 for the switch, and then the other AND gate that is that would be there for safety is this one, which is the block compacting circuit. Now these block compactors things have been around for a while. It's just a piston worm with a sliding redstone block wall, and if you time it right, you can essentially make them go 2 directions, but it's really nice because you can control the amount of distance the pistons travel down. So I can have it move down once, shove the blocks on a conveyor, go down again, and do this again and again for a set amount of pulses. So how do I get the set amount of pulses? Well, I have a circuit down here. So right here, I put a repeater at a specific position on the redstone line, which would get us a 5 signal strength right at the end. And so what this circuit below does is it takes that 5 signal strength and will convert it into the amount of times it clocks a pulse here. So we also have a clock that's just as long as this part needs to run for, so that it doesn't crash. And so when each clock cycle happens, it'll go up, and then it'll cause the block conveyor belt to activate just after the top section pulses. So first this moves down, and then it starts shoving the blocks off. Now, the way it returns up super fast is quite simple. When the comparator, it's like a memory circuit, but it's going to decay on clock cycles. So it's going to take 5 clock cycles for this circuit to decay, and when it does, it allows that AND gate over there to unlatch, or at least its input. And then up here, it's going to cause the very simple way of getting that super fast redstone block movement. Basically, I'm just using a decay timer and observer block, which actually causes really fast pulses. And with this, with it built in this configuration, it's able to reset the pistons perfectly every time. So that's why it was pretty interesting. Now the last part is the blast chamber, which is an optional part. Although you need to keep in mind that you might have structures with stairs or fences, so you can't always use the torch smart piston. But if you know where you're building your tunnel bore, and you know there aren't any structures with non-solid blocks, then this is perfectly fine. You could change out the blast chamber, but I recommend to keep this one because it's very easy. And it uses these fun little observer detectors, so yeah, I think you guys will really like that. And yeah, so the timing is done just with a decay and then 4 repeaters, and that gets the exact push, and it always exactly pushes your block 36 every time because there's plenty of delay, so it can't crash, which is nice. And this binary counter here is set to count to 3 and then returns back. Basically, I can prevent it from counting to 4 just by resetting this piston at 3. So that's nice. And yeah, just enough TNT to get you by. If you're running this tunnel bore, I suggest you get some alt accounts. You can use Carpet Mod for that, and you can just set them up every 300 blocks if you have your render distance set to 10 or so. And that should be far enough away to keep this tunnel bore loaded. You can also use your player and just bump your render distance all the way up to 32. You know, you can have it bumped up all the way on single player and it'll actually increase the render distance. So you can also do that. So it's really up to you to what you want to do. And I suppose I shall run this for one more time. So you can turn this machine on and off at any time. If you turn the machine off while this is running, this thing will run again if you turn it back on because of just how it's built. So what we'll do is we'll just let it do its thing. So I'll let those guys run and then I'll just turn on that part of the AND gate. And yeah, the block compactor's literally almost done. It doesn't take long for this thing to do its thing. You saw how that works. But yeah, you could see that the top 3 bores first go. And look, there's gravel. And this gravel will definitely drop down to the next layer. So that's why we gotta launch these separately, you see. Now, if you want to avoid having to use these machines separately, what you can do is have the tunnel bore set up in such a way where there's a floor, a 1 block thick floor in between each tunnel bore. And that way it won't have dropping gravel on each layer. But that's kind of counterintuitive to my thought process because I like these big open tunnels that you just get from AFKing. I mean, think about it. Look at these little grooves in the ground. You could put water here for a boat, packed ice for running, and you can have soul sand for soul speed here. You've got, like, you could totally do that, and you can also have minecart rails here, so this could be a really cool passageway system that you could just build automatically, sort of. But you're also getting blocks. Like, I actually, on my previous attempts at the station, I've gotten so many ores, so it's quite good for that, just from an AFK session. So yeah, since I turned the machine off, it's not gonna do its cycle, but it would have swept these all out. And yeah, very simple. Yep, all the blocks travel down into here, so that's basically it. I hope you guys will enjoy it. We're all downloads in the description. Hit the like button if you liked and subscribe for more cool stuff.